here, coming at you with another episode of Instant Noodle Recipe Time, the show where I show you what to do with your instant noodles. Today I have esteemed colleague and writer Matthew Bella on the line. He's a little under the weather right now, so you might hear some gagging and vomiting during the show, but that's definitely going to liven things up around here. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Not at all, not at all. So what's going on with you? I hear you have a horrible addiction to D&D and, what was that other thing?
Serial killer.
Serial killer. Talk about your serial killer good pal.
So, for those of you who, for
Oh,
new
wait.
listeners-
Wait. We're doing this one today. This is U.F.O Yakisoba. This is the white one, so it doesn't have any look or feel or color or look anything like it should, but it's supposedly the same flavor. Yeah, tell them what. Oh yeah, and you can get it on Zenpop. Go to zenpop.jp. Use the coupon code the Ramen Raider for a discount. Okay, so that's out of the way. But yeah, tell them. I'm sure they've seen on the TV about the fella.
Could be. His name's in the headlines now. So, notorious serial killer Joseph Edward Duncan was convicted of murdering some children and doing other horrible things back in 2005. So he was sitting on federal death row, and in a federal penitentiary in Indiana for like 10 years. And a couple of years ago, as an author, as a writer, true crime enthusiast, and just a person who enjoys philosophically exploring the nature of evil, I began corresponding with Mr. Duncan. We wrote letters back and forth for 2 years. I have a stack of letters from him.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Got it.
Oh, here's your bonus.
Man, that was some really good French toast. Damn you, Hans.
You could eat it again. They got videos like that on the internet.
Alright, returning to the show.
Should we do our quote of the day for Momofuku?
Yeah, do the quote of the day. Do the quote of the day.
Okay. Let you gain some composure there. Perhaps vomit again. Oh, it's about food. Number 245. A country whose food conditions are in disarray will probably fall into decline. People can only be content when there is enough food. This is my motto. All right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's words of wisdom there.
People can only be happy when they're fed. Fed.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So your buddies, you.
Okay, so yes, Mr. Duncan was sitting on death row awaiting execution. There's a lot of execution delays, not only because everybody gets an appeal automatically when they're sentenced to death, even though he rejected his appeals, his lawyers forced them through. The previous administrations didn't have much interest in executing prisoners, and then there was a big bump of them at the end of the Trump administration, and his name was on the list. He was probably going to die. Boom, he's diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, and they remove a fist-sized glioblastoma from the right lobe of his brain. Okay.
Wow.
So he, after the surgery, which cost hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money, he was deemed no longer cognizant enough to face execution and was allowed to rot slowly and die.
So let me get this straight. You have to be able to know that you're going to be toast.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, we can't execute extremely mentally disabled people. Stuff like that.
Because it's not cruel enough. I mean, granted.
It's cruel to kill someone to execute someone who doesn't know what's happening to them. Basically, I think that's how it works. Huh. So he missed his execution for that, which he wanted to happen. So I mean, he was kind of sad about that. But then
he was sad that he wasn't executed. Go on.
I hate you for making me do this right now. Oh, God. Oh,
Ladies
God.
and gentlemen, the reason that Matthew is vomiting so much is because, well, you want to tell them? Matthew's pregnant. He's going to have a baby. He's going through morning sickness right now.
Okay.
He's pregnant with a new
So, yes, this is my third child. So, he recently passed away. I heard about it. I was corresponding with him. I was actually sitting here waiting for a letter to come back from him. And then I saw on the news that he passed away, like a couple hours after it hit the newspaper, man. So I saw same day. And I said to myself, yep, that's, it's not a surprise. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. It was still a weird feeling. Over the course of 2 years, I felt we'd gotten to know each other pretty well, as best one can do in correspondence.
Well, what's crazy is it was like national news.
Yes, he was a notorious serial killer. The final case that brought him to the attention of the authorities and for which he was convicted was horrific. It was splashed all across the headlines. There was repercussions for the victims. Happened up in Idaho. I mean, it's people know that name when you throw it out there.
Yeah, my wife knew who it was. Kit knew who it was.
Right.
She was like,
yeah.
Oh, she was talking to that guy?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So when he died, I honestly didn't know how to feel about it. My immediate feeling was sadness. And then I was like, oh my God, this guy's a horrible monster. I'm sad.
Yeah.
And then I talked to you about it, and you said, no, man, you're a human. It's okay to feel bad. So, all right, so.
I retract that statement. He was a horrible monster. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, I mean,
Yeah, it's weird. It's a loss of a life once you get to know more about him. I mean, there's no excusing what he did, but I mean, there is an explanation. Anyways, so he died. I have 2 years worth of letters back and forth between he and I. It was my hope that I get to write a book about him someday, and we were discussing that when he passed away. So what I am doing is I am compiling all of our correspondence on both sides, my letters to him, his letters to me, writing up commentary for each one and on him in general, and I'll be publishing that on Amazon. When is this show going to come out?
This show should be out mid-June. I'm gonna say maybe June. This episode should be out June 14th or I'm gonna say June 14th.
Okay, cool. Well, it'll be done by then. It'll be done probably in the next month, so you can look for it on Amazon as you listen to this show. It's called Letters from Jet, which is his nickname, Jet, like a jet plane. Letters from Jet. My correspondence with Joseph Edward Duncan. So
now, why isn't it Jed? Why is it Jed?
His mom gave him that nickname when he was a kid, and that's what he asked me to call him in his first letter to him, and that's what he asked everybody to call him. So there's a little personal touch there. I don't have the entire scope of this man's life to write a biography about. What I do have is my experience with him, our interaction, and that's what I can provide, a perspective on his life.
Fair enough.
And mine, that's what I can do. It's my own unique offering based on my interaction with him. So there's going to be some interesting stuff in there. In the commentary, we'll try to nail down some of the philosophy, we'll explore some of the philosophy regarding people who act like this and greater subjects in general. And in his letters, he's actually quite philosophical and, dare I say, enlightened about the things he's done. He's had 15 years sitting in a prison cell reading books to, think about things, and the stuff he comes back at me with are pretty profound. And I do challenge him directly with a lot of hard questions. So there's some interesting stuff in there.
That's rad.
So yeah, that'll be out on Amazon by the time his show comes out. Letters from Jet.
Wow. Maybe you'll get an option for a film.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because, I mean, it's like, what was that movie? Kind of doing it up, kind of like, what was that movie? Interview with the Vampire? Not that at all, but, but like, there's the guy who's like the journalist, and then he's recanting all this stuff going by. I think it'd be interesting if you could also do this as an interpretation of what you thought of this, not just like a direct like
that's
forensic
what I'm doing. As
way
I go
of.
along, I'm providing commentary. I'll be like, okay, here's my letter to him. I asked him these questions, and this is why I asked them.
Yeah.
And then before I show his letter, I'll be like, in this letter, Mr. Duncan responds to these questions, and here's what I believe he's saying, like that, and you know, here's my commentary on his response.
Okay,
So you can
but
see, like,
maybe
the bigger picture.
Okay. But have you thought maybe people would be interested, since you're doing something a lot of people wouldn't be doing themselves? You know, a thing would be like, wow, I wonder what it would be like to like converse with somebody who was like so jacked up or this or that. Maybe include stuff about how, after you read a letter, how you felt about what you just read or what you just said.
Yeah, that'll definitely probably be a part of it, man. I'll definitely make it there
Because you are just as much of a character in this story as him. Because you're the other. It's a dyadic. You know, it's a dyad. It's two people conversing.
True.
And then you can like flesh that out even further. I think this could be good, really good.
That's great, man. I'll focus on that aspect of it. That's definitely something that I recognize in my thinking when I was dealing with him. I would wake up in the morning in my house, my cool little house where everything is cool and perfect. I'd make myself some breakfast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've never been to his house, but I know it is cool and perfect. So.
And then I'd sit down at my desk and I'd try and attempt to correspond with this person and get into his headspace, and it was just such a huge contrast between anything most people are thinking as. You know, it's like, hey, I have to get into the head of a serial killer today because I have to respond to his questions to me and his answers and stuff. It was really tough, man. Other people do this too. People who write biographies, books about serial killers, they go through this too. I'm familiar with a lot of them, and there's, you know, pretty classic cases of the investigators who went to talk to Ted Bundy. There was a guy in Scotland or England, Desmond Nielsen, who was a horrific serial killer. And the guy who wrote a book about him came in and interviewed him. They actually made a movie about that, starring the guy from Doctor Who as the serial killer.
Your friends are weird. You got some weird buddies.
And the biggest thing about it is I don't want to say compromising, but not even corruption, but just a normal person who's approaching this from a literary perspective. Getting into the head of someone like that, it was tough. And it still affects me, and I will try to express that in this work.
Yeah, you should. That's cool.
Right on, man.
We're going to do something now that I haven't done in a long time. We are going to bring out the Tamago Kake Gohan. Ladies and gentlemen,
very cool.
This is an amazing thing. So I will explain what's going on here. This is high-end magical Japanese stuffery. So, this is the Tamago Kake Gohan. The ultimate Tamago Kake Gohan. So let's see if you can see what's going on here with the ultimate Tamago Kake Gohan. So, basically, there's this cylindrical machine I'm looking at. There's a lid that pops off, and now I'm placing an egg within the egg chamber. And our guest is vomiting in the extreme as I do this.
Oh, I'm here.
All right.
See what I put myself through just to go on your show, man? Must be how much I love it.
It's a real show. This is a no-spin zone, buddy.
Yeah, I bumped the McLaughlin group for this today, just so you know that.
Okay, let's see.
I was supposed to do a
Are you ready?
I was supposed to do a one-on-one with Tucker Carlson, but I called it canceled.
Dude. Here we go. So what this did is it cracks the egg, puts the egg in the egg separator, drops the whites to the bottom, and here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that, but now it's beating the yolk, or the white of the egg. And what it'll do is get it to a nice peaky frothiness. and that you generally take the yolk and that and you put it over some rice, and that's tamago kake gohan. It's basically just egg with rice is what that means. But I use it on yakisoba from time to time, and this is a fancy yakisoba, so I figure why not today? So right now it's whipping the whites.
Ooh, whipping the whites?
The whites are being whipped. Shut up, Wesley. No. The other thing we were going to discuss is your horrible addiction to Dungeons and Dragons. You want to tell the audience about this?
It's true.
This guy calls me up yesterday. I called this guy up yesterday, actually. And he's like, dude, I need to eat lunch. I don't know what to do. Dude, I can't get my head out of my game and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, eat something. Eat something. Go somewhere. Open the door. Breathe some air.
You did. And it helped. And I appreciated that. And I kept disengaging from the conversation mentally because I was just focused. Okay, so yeah, focused on things that were happening in the game. It was totally rude, and you ended up hanging up on me. Your intervention helped, man. You're like, shut up, stop thinking about it, go outside and look at the sky.
There is more. There's more outdoors.
So I'm in a couple D&D games, but there's one that's like way more prominent. It's a very cool game.
It's
it's
the ultimate Tamago Kake Gohan currently, children.
Very cool.
It is cool. And we're talking to Uncle Matt. You want to say hi to Uncle Matt?
Hi, Uncle Matt. Hi, buddies. Hi, kiddos.
I have a tablet. Hi, Uncle Matt.
Hey, buddy.
I'm playing with my tablet.
Hey, kiddos.
Go have a seat. I'll be out there in a second. We'll have some. But yeah, why have you stopped playing the Diablo or the dungeon and or dragon? Do you own a dungeon? Do you live in a dungeon? Do you have a pet dragon?
No, that's why I play, so I can have those things without having it. Yeah, I actually have a game today in about an hour and a half.
Sick.
So it's more than just a weekly game where you get together with the other players and go kill stuff or whatever.
No, it's super nerdy. Not just regular nerdy. Yeah. It's
correct.
Ultra nerdy.
Yeah, this is one of the deep. This is the deep server. Yeah, so this is all. Most of it takes place on a Discord server, in chat roleplay, and what we're doing. It's an open world world building game. We are pioneers in a new frontier. We're not explore landmass. We set up a little camp. We're trying to run like our personal little businesses and stuff to make a living. And then eventually we go out exploring into the wilderness and find new stuff to do there. We're building a civilization from scratch, from the ground up. We found this farming settlement with the ruins of a fort. We're hiring farmers from back on the mainland to come over there. I'm personally doing a lot of the handiwork with the farming. We're slowly building this settlement up into a town.
You mean you're actually working on a real farm?
It's all imaginary, Hans. It's all imaginary.
Oh.
And it is very intensive. Like, there's people on the boards 24 hours a day. Some of them are in England, so they have different hours. Some of them are like the East Coast of America, all that kind of stuff, all over the world. And it's just very interesting. It's a lot of live role play. We all have our own little channel. This is my tent, this is my shop, and then you conduct business with the other people there. And it's just so engaging. I find it fascinating. I love it, but it definitely occupies an incredible amount of my thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm a history geek, and I love like medieval history and stuff like that. And I'd love to and this is a great experiment for living in that world. The game master, the GM, is very knowledgeable and holds us to all the practicalities. Like, I just tried to have some armor made, and I had to bounce around between two different craftsmen because the tanner was saying, "Oh, you want me to make it?" But you said the blacksmith was going to make it. I'm not taking work away from him. So now it's like this whole thing. I have to go back and forth of offended craftsmen locally, and it's just a lot of very practical.
Wait, and these are actually
medieval
people that
fairy
say
tale
that, or
stuff.
is you dice rolls that say that they don't want to do that? Or
What's that?
was that actually a human that said, well, I don't want to take his work away from him?
Yeah, that's a human. Yeah, that's the GM. He plays like all the NPCs, the non-player characters
Gotcha.
in the game. So yeah, it's a lot
Can't
of
you
fun.
just kill them then? If they don't do what you tell them?
Theoretically I could. Yeah, theoretically I could. Yeah, I could. But
I mean, you could make your character that guy. You could name him after that guy.
But then then other people would probably team up on me as murderer and take me out.
No, you could get them to join you and also name themselves after that guy.
That's that's totally a possibility. Anything is possible. It's an open world, and it's a great thought experiment. One for
ooh, there go the egg.
building a civilization.
Oh, I'll send you a picture. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
I just had to tumble an egg. A yolk in this meringue-looking, frothy, cloud-like amazingitude. That's what this thing does. Sorry. Tell me more about your fictitious fascination.
So, to sum up, here's what it is for me. One, it's a great thought experiment for anyone who's a fan of history or sociology, because you are building a civilization from scratch. It's fascinating. Two, as a writer, and not just a nonfiction, but a creative writer, like in my novels, it is an amazing training experience for creative writing. It's live role play. You have to get into someone's head, hold to that character, interact with other people in real time as that character, which is perfect for creative writing and character development. And you have to maintain there's a lot of different time zones and different things going on. So you have to maintain in your head a clear picture of all the different storylines, which is, again, excellent training for creative. I consider this type of D&D game to be like special forces training for creative writers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I believe it's time to let Rotato do its magic. This is kind of weird because it looks just like white noodles, but it does taste like yakisoba. It's a trip. Are you vomiting again?
I'm not. I'm sitting right here. I'm with you, bro.
Oh. Oh, I see. There was a slight silence. I thought maybe you were adding to the vomitorium. I see. I get the picture. I thought there was gonna be more puke, but you should get that looked at, man.
It's just
Are you a doctor?
something that happens when someone tries to make me talk right after I eat.
Well, you can be sure, Matthew, that we will have you on the show anytime you have just eaten, because that is the kind of program that we like to do here at the Ramen Raider.
I like to sit and relax and enjoy my food, and then allow it to digest after I've eaten, not jump immediately into a conversation. But here we are, and it's fascinating, and I'm happy
We like to try to let your food
education and
escape.
entertainment. What's that?
We like to try to let your food escape, if need be.
Yeah. Did you read? I posted a very wonderful poem on my Facebook page last night, which you helped me write.
Which?
What's that?
What you write?
I shall recite it. Here we go. So Hans contributed to this. This is the saddest poem in the world. Let's see here. Let's go. It is right here. Are you ready, world?
Yes.
My lettuce is wilted. My haircut forlorn. Sadder than millions of baby shoes never worn. No ketchup, no mustache, no favorite meme. A black and white photo of someone's bright dream. Chopped up like a salad of deep miscontent. My eggs are all broken, my pancreas bent. Where once I had mules of Bombay, now grapes, fermented in boxes, my breakfast escapes. a feline dominion, a pandemic cage, a 24-hour typed digital page. Ta-da!
You know, I would refrain from ripping off Ernest Hemingway, though. That's not kind.
I've only read one book by that guy, All Quiet on the Western Front. He's alright. I never read like The Old Man and the Sea or anything like that. I mean, maybe it's
Yeah. Well, I looked up because we were talking yesterday, and you know, I was like, "What's the saddest paragraph in the world?" And then it came up with, "What's the saddest sentence in the world?"
Yeah.
And that was by Ernest Hemingway, and it was for sale. Baby shoes, never worn.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
That's freaking bleak. God.
It is. It is.
Poetic. God. Well, that's about all I got today. This came out looking pretty good and stuff, so, yeah. Any last words on your doings and conspirings over there, sir?
Happy to be here, though. Yeah, look for Letters from Jet, my correspondence with Joseph Edward Duncan on Amazon.
All right, Letters from Jet. We're looking forward to seeing that. The new book coming soon, or if not already, for you folks in your temporally displaced maelstrom. By Matthew Bell. Go to Amazon.com and check that out. And this has been Olives the Ramen Raider, wishing you enjoyment of your noodles each and every day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.